Welcome back to another episode of Freedom Finance with Lanny, guys. And today we are going to talk about something you've been wanting me to show you based on comments I've received. Is what do my investments in some examples look like if I invested not a single penny or dollar going forward? What do my investments look like with that eighth wonder of the world compounding, quote unquote? What happens to my investments in 10 years, 20 years, 30 years? You guys have seen kind of where I'm at based on videos I've produced, but we're going to show you exactly where I'm at right now today on 3 of my ETFs that I've been buying either every single day or every single week. And if I stopped right now, what happens with time, with that investing magic, guys? So yes, grab your favorite beverage. I've got coffee over here, but you can get your wine, your liquor, your mixed drink, guys. And yes, go back to the wine because you're Italian and it's a Sunday maybe for you. But guys, let's see what this looks like starting from right now. No more investing and what it looks like. Does it become 7 figures? Let's find out. I've been investing for a long time. A lot of people ask me, why am I even doing these videos? Well, guys, I'm trying to show you evidence, proof, what I do, because I want you to reach financial freedom. I want you to build wealth for yourself, your family, your generations, whatever that may be. I want your heart to beat a little bit faster when it comes to saving, when it comes to investing. I want you to trust the process. I want you to see the results. And I want you to go out there and make it happen. So in case you don't know, and you can catch my Vanguard Trifecta, my 3 ETFs I'm investing into right now. But in short, I buy Vanguard's S&P 500 ETF, VOO, every single day, $60. I buy Vanguard's Dividend Appreciation ETF, VIG, every day, $40. I also buy VYM, Vanguard's High Dividend Yield ETF, every single week, $300 on Mondays. Now my family and I, we have a high savings rate. We save anywhere between 60 to 80% of our income. It helps because, again, we bought a house. I bought a house back in 2011 for less than $100,000 with a pretty low interest rate at that time, and refinanced in 2020 regardless to even have a lower interest rate. So our biggest cost is pretty much a very, very low cost. So very lucky, good timing on my part. You know, can't say enough more about that. So that's why we invest how we do. So now we've been doing this though for a while, right? For instance, Vanguard's VOO, I've been buying it every single day for over a year and a half at this point, dating back to early 2022. VIG, for the most part in 2023, I started that in the beginning, so almost hitting the 1-year mark. Now, Vanguard's VYM, I've been personally buying it for almost 3.5 years every single week. So a lot of comments on some of my videos have been what it would happen with growth if you stopped, if you had no more money to invest or had no desire to invest, or if I lost all other sources of income, and what would happen to the value over time. So that's what we exactly are going to dive into. I'm going to dive into those 3 ETFs. I'm going to show you with evidence on the screen the market value and number of shares I have as of right now, which we're filming this, the morning of December 9th. So it's pretty much, close to the end of the year doing this. And then we're going to use the historical or 10-year performance rate of return on each of the ETFs and project out what it looks like in 10, 20, 30 years with me doing absolutely nothing more as of right now. So we're going to jump right in, guys. Let's take a little sip here. We're going to start with Vanguard's S&P 500 VOO, the lovely low-cost ETF that everybody kind of battles and decides between. Is it VOO? Is it VTI? Is it another S&P 500 ETF? I stick with the S&P 500. I stick with Vanguard. As of right now, the value that I currently have is just about $34,000. Now, I've been doing that for over a year and a half worth of time. So, keep that in reference. Plus, it's appreciated over that time period. I was buying in the lows of 2020, and now I'm catching the upswing here in 2023. So you better believe I didn't put $34,000 of my money into VOO. In fact, I actually did a video of a check-in on how I bought VOO, Vanguard's S&P 500, every single day for 396-day check-in. So check that video as well. Now, their rate of return over 10 years is actually over 11%. Now, we're going to use that in our analysis, but it may be better, it may be worse. It may gravitate back towards the 7 to 10% average return, but right now we're using 11.77% return, and you'll see that's coming right from Vanguard themselves. So $34,000. Compounding every year at 11.77%. And I'm going to show it here on the chart. You're going to see all the years, all the values, guys. So after 10 years, that $34,000, without even considering dividends or reinvestment, buying any more shares, guys. Remember, I've been doing no more investing. I'm like, hey, I'm out of the investing game, guys. Let me let time do its magic. At year 10, the $34,000 finally becomes 100 plus thousand. It's 103,000 at year 10, compounding every single year at 11.77%. So every year it's saying, okay, you were at 34, let me add over $3,400 more, of value in the first year. So going from 34 to 38. So every year it's using that new value, compounding, and that's why compounding is one of the best wonders of the world. And I apologize if my voice, a little scratchy this morning. We're doing this fairly early. So it took 10 years to get to the first 100K from the 34,000. Now it's 100K compounding. So remember, at 34 to the next year, it became about 38. So that was, close to, we'll just call it $4,000 of compounding. So at 103,000 at year 10, when it gets to year 11, you actually become 116,000 because 11.77% off that 103,000 is a lot more than 11.77% at 34,000. So it goes from 103 to 1 over 115. So over the next 10 years, from year 10 to year 20, you're like, oh, does it reach 200? No. Does it reach 250? Guys, it reaches $314,700 plus at year 20, almost tripling in value, or tripling in value. But we're at year 20. I thought we were doing this for 30 years. So at 314,000, it's compounding now at 11.77% every year. So at year 10 or year 30, 10 more years tacked onto that, I'm estimating it could be worth potentially at the same rate at 11.77%, $958,000, just under $1 million. And again, this isn't even considering reinvesting the dividends along the way. So guys, in 30 years, this hair might not be here, or if it is, it's definitely white as Casper, but it'll be worth just under, more than likely, $1 million if I stopped right now. That's one ETF. We're going to jump into the other two ETFs, guys. We're going to really rip the Band-Aid here. We're going to talk about now VIG, Vanguard's Dividend Appreciation ETF, guys. Let's jump into my second ETF that I buy every day. It's currently worth just under $10,000 at $9,989 and change. You'll see it here on the screen. Now that average rate of return over the last 10 years is 10.46%. So let's run my under $10,000 investment. At year 10, it becomes $27,000. So going from 9 or just under 10 to 27 over that time period. And then at year 20, it actually goes from $27,000 all the way to $73,000. You know, there's nothing wrong about being just under 75 grand at year 20. Let's tack on those extra 10 years. Let's get to year 30. Well, year 30, it becomes this. No, I'm just kidding. It actually doesn't become a PSA 10, Enchantment Shadow, Rainbow Rare, Pokemon card. It actually ends up becoming just under 200 grand at $198,000 for Vanguard's VIG if I stopped and I just let it grow, compound, do its thing, not including dividends in my analysis, using that rate of just under 10.5%, so that under 10 grand becomes under 200,000 in 30 years. Now everybody's question, what about the big VYM? Now we're only going to look at my VYM investment. We're not going to bring in my wife's. But you guys remember, we did finally cross over $100,000 of value from buying this ETF for almost 3.5 years. So catch that video. You might like it. You might take something from it. But let's take away right now what VYM becomes in 30 years. Now again, they don't perform as well as VOO. They definitely don't perform as well as VIG. You buy VYM for the current income and some future dividend growth. But, whoa, wait, Laney, you're taking away dividends from this. You're taking away reinvestment and the growth in the dividend. And what happens? You're right. Plus, I'm not even investing anymore in this analysis. So the VYM is actually worth just under 75 grand at 74.4K. Now, the 10-year rate of return is just over 9% for VYM. Yes, the lowest of the Vanguard Trifecta You Betcha trio here. So I'm starting at just under 75 grand. And in 10 years, it's only worth actually $176,000. If you remember, my $34,000 investment with VOO at year 10 becomes 103 grand. So not too far behind the 176,000. And at year 20, the Vanguard's VYM, according to this analysis, compounding at just over 9%, becomes 418,000. And you remember, VOO is really catching up at 315,000 at year 20. So not too far behind. And here's the fun part. At year 30, the VYM, compounding still at 9%, becomes $990,000. Just under $1 million again. Now remember, VOO though, it's a speed racer over there. VOO, again, with less than half of what my current VYM currently is, remember, became 958,000. So literally neck and neck with VYM, with over 2 times as much as I have invested with VYM. And that should also show you the power of not just investing and letting time work, but also the difference in total return or return in general, is that the S&P 500 is a beast. You really, to me, in my opinion, do your own research, can't go wrong with VOO. It runs hard, it runs fast, and it does its job, as you see here in my 30-year analysis examples, which again could be subject to change. So, in summary, in 30 years, if I stopped investing a single dollar into these ETFs, there's a good chance that VOO becomes around 958,000, VYM becomes 990,000, and VIG becomes just under $200,000. It's a long ways away. Who knows if I'll just let it work its magic? But again, that is the power of compounding, why you want to save and invest as much as you can right now. So if you're watching this, not only do I want you to like and subscribe to my channel, but I want you to transfer some savings to your investing and buy something simple like an ETF if it's complicated, or look into some fun dividend growth stocks. That obviously I'm biased because I love that type of investing. So that's what I would love for you guys to do. Let me know in the comments if this was helpful. Let me know what else you'd like to see. Again, I appreciate you guys for stopping by. Yeah, subscribe to this channel. Enjoy your coffee, guys. Keep saving, keep investing, and I will catch you on the next one.